Every once in a while, the gamers of the internet will band together and declare one game the king of the circuit for a few weeks.
Whether it's a party game like Among Us or that one Roblox dress-up fashion game, something scary like Slender the 8 Pages or Doki Doki Literature Club, or another global phenomenon, there's a precedent set that most any game has the potential to explode in the gaming sphere.
The internet's latest fascination is a granny-like game called SchoolBoy Runaway. I first discovered this game through a few prominent Twitch streamers, and I'm expecting it to become the next viral game.
SchoolBoy Runaway was released for mobile platforms months ago, but only came to PC at the start of December 2024. According to Steam charts, the game has a peak player count of only 127 players at the time of recording, but this doesn't count mobile players, where the game will probably thrive more. A quick scroll in the App Store shows there's already copycat games popping up, so that's a promising sign that the game will go far.
In concept, the game is quite simple, but the execution is challenging, and I can see players spending hours and hours on the game to figure out the most efficient way to achieve the end goal.
That end goal, of course, is doing just as the title of the game says.
You, the schoolboy, need to run away.
After failing your classes, your parents ground you and demand you spend all your time studying. The schoolboy, our hero, our brave academic soldier, does not wish to study. Using items from around the house, some trickery, and a little luck, the schoolboy attempts to fool his parents and slip out of the house undetected.
At first, you'll get spotted a lot, and that'll mean parental punishment.
The schoolboy's father, who spends most of the game screaming at the TV because of the local hockey team's abysmal performance, will make the schoolboy do exercise as a consequence. And the mother, who alternates between cooking and gardening for the duration of the game, tasks the player with sweeping the porch, mopping the kitchen, and cleaning the bathroom whenever she catches you out of your room. You'll also notice little inconsistencies, like if you open a door while sneaking around but forget to close it before acting innocent in your room, they'll storm in and deliver an unrelenting slap to the schoolboy's face.
Yikes! This game really earns its mature 17+ rating from the Apple App Store.
People on live streams struggle immensely to beat this game, and that makes the chat go wild. There's something about e-clowns raging at a kid's game that makes people want to see more.
I have no live chat to pander to, so let's try and see if this game is actually as difficult as they say.
The first thing I noticed when opening the game, at least on mobile, is a lengthy disclaimer that the game is purely fictional, that running away from home is not a good idea, and that none of the actions in the game should be repeated in real life.
I'm not entirely sure if that's a necessary warning, as I like to think kids these days are smart enough to not play SchoolBoy Runaway and then attempt to run away themselves, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong.
There are a handful of modes to choose from of varying difficulty, ranging from easy to extreme, with mobile's practice mode being included as a sandbox to strategize in, and the challenge mode being available to any SchoolBoy Runaway esports gamers willing to take on the ultimate challenge.
I'll be playing on normal mode, since that's what the game starts you on.
In the game's intro, the schoolboy, who I guess is named Andrew, asks his mom to go play outside. When she discovers that he has an F and a negative note from his teacher, she decides to ground the kid in order to force him to start taking his schooling more seriously. She tells him to stay in his room, and if she catches him elsewhere, she'll rough him up real good. This is all the setup we need to inspire our escape.
While first sneaking around the house, I made a ton of mistakes.
My initial idea was to check out all the rooms and see what was interactable, and I found this vase with a key in it, but shaking the key loose caused the parents to get alerted, and because I forgot to close the bedroom door, they knew it was the schoolboy's fault. Thankfully, they didn't check the closet I was hiding in, but I heard the mother search other cabinets, so it was definitely a close call.
My main takeaway from this first encounter was to always undo the things you do when moving about the house.
Close the doors, turn off the lights, and leave no stone turned.
Usually you'd say leave no stone unturned, but in this case we want to return the stones over once we've unturned them. Did you get all that?
The game shows that you can trigger the doorbell to make the mother exit the kitchen, which is useful when you need to get in there and use the appliances or hop out the large window.
The kitchen is absolutely vital for accessing the outdoors.
Apparently the schoolboy isn't athletic enough to hop the very short fence surrounding his house, so leaving through the window doesn't count as escaping. Maybe the dad is right to make him do squats whenever he catches the schoolboy not studying. My first time getting caught was when I was outside in the front yard. I was standing up fully instead of crouching because I figured the outdoors were safe, but I guess the dad saw me through the window and ran out the front door to bust me. One punishment later, and I was back in the bedroom with my book open. Immediately after getting reset, the father came in and busted me for spilling the flour out of the vase, which led to yet another punishment. This time, I had to run 3 laps around the house. In normal mode, you get 3 lives, so I'd already burned 2 of them while just learning the ropes.
The only progress I made during my first attempt at the game was discovering most of the interactable objects and also learning what not to do.
There's some items that are in different places in different attempts, but there are also some that are stagnant in one location. The vase will always have a key, for example. That specific key from the vase unlocks the room right by the front door, which is a storage closet of sorts.
Some things in this game are really difficult to figure out. I was happy to have some streamer watch time and therefore secondhand experience under my belt for a few of the puzzles.
Just off the top of my head, creating the smoke screen in the kitchen is accomplished by turning off the stove vent, then turning off the fan, opening the pot and pan up, then undoing all of those things. obviously all while the mother is not in the kitchen. Those are some pretty convoluted steps for a simple end goal.
The root cause of this is that the parents blame every single solitary thing on the schoolboy. I swear, if they heard a mousetrap spring in the attic, the parents would sooner blame the schoolboy than think they'd actually caught a mouse.
You know, these folks would make great conspiracy theorists.
The schoolboy's responsible for the drones over New Jersey! The schoolboy controls the Bermuda Triangle! The schoolboy faked the moon landing!
From my research, and by that I mean watching other people play the game, there are a couple of ways to escape the house and complete the main premise of the game. For the front gate exit, you need to find a charger for the dad's laptop as well as his computer password in order to learn the gate code. You then need to clean off the gate keypad, which requires a few extra tasks in the bathroom/laundry room. The other option is to find a hammer, nails, and some planks of wood to rebuild the ladder leading into the house's attic, where the schoolboy can rip open the roof and leap fearlessly from the building into an adjacent pile of snow. To help out on either of these quests, you can temporarily incapacitate the parents by slipping sleeping pills into the dad's drink and locking the mom in the storage closet by baiting her in with the radio.
I can see why the game led with a do not repeat these actions in real life warning now.
Even when you know where the items you need are and what your specific objective is, this game is still tricky, and you can bet it gets even more intense on the higher difficulty levels.
I haven't tried those higher difficulty levels, but I mean,
it says how much harder they'll be right on the title screen.
For what it's worth, I don't think this game should be difficult.
Once you know what you need to do and how to go about doing it, the game is only as difficult as going through the motions is.
By that, I mean the game is only as difficult as the AI feels like making it.
I've been grabbed through doors, grabbed from a closet when I've otherwise not been, and I've had items spawn in really unlucky places.
With the right luck and enough time, anyone could beat this game. You'll just need to play it over and over again after failing, just so you can learn new things.
I learned from my initial mistake with the key in the vase, and on repeat attempts, I discovered that you have enough time to place the rose back into the vase and hide in the closet before the dad comes in, so you can escape that pursuit undetected every time. The password to the schoolboy's computer never changes, so once you figure that out, you basically have it for life. Each new cycle begins with doing the unchanging things, like getting the storage key and having the mom open the window, as well as exploring the various cabinets and other hiding spots around the house to start building up a repertoire of items. The hint button is super useful in finding out exactly where your next key item is, but you can definitely complete the game without the use of it if you learn the map and its item spawns enough.
After playing SchoolBoy Runaway, I've decided I'm not really into these types of games. Granny likes, as my thumbnail muse Germa likes to call them.
They're a mix between an escape room and a pseudo-horror game, and I'd much prefer these two genres stay far apart. Solving puzzles by searching a room and combining different items to escape is a fun concept I can get behind, and so is hiding from a stalker-type enemy while trying to move from point A to point B. Combining these two styles has never sat right with me.
Just to prove I'm not biased against this game, we can look at another, vastly different game that employed a similar combination of gameplay types.
The Resident Evil 2 remake introduces Mr. X about halfway through the player's time in the Raccoon City Police Department. While the first part of this game is spent either evading or fighting simple enemies, Mr. X's appearance changes that entirely. When pursued by Mr. X, you no longer have the choice to fight, as he will always get back up after a short while. Even if you're trying to solve a puzzle in a small room, Mr. X can interrupt you, and you'll have to run through the halls of the RPD to lose him. When you have a small window of peace, you better do your puzzles quickly. Obviously, the parents in SchoolBoy Runaway aren't anywhere near as annoying as Mr. X, but the concept is the same in my eyes. I'm trying to focus on my puzzles, and these weirdos won't leave me alone.
It also doesn't help that the parents in SchoolBoy Runaway are super picky. I got really frustrated in one of my later attempts when the mom would chastise me for literally nothing at all. That's not an unfamiliar feeling.
One time she got mad because her pot, quote, wasn't standing straight after I set up the smoke screen. And I'm not even sure what that means. I guess I bumped it when leaving the kitchen and she remembered the exact angle she had the pot rotated to, then got mad when it wasn't perfectly set.
This mom's the kind of person to count the amount of Cheetos she has left in her bowl before going to the bathroom so she can tell if someone took one while she was away. I get no satisfaction from inching towards a goal over repeated attempts, so I'm not really primed to enjoy games like Dark Souls or Elden Ring or SchoolBoy Runaway.
The game is also a little glitchy. In my best run, the dad got stuck right outside my room, and it was literally impossible for me to proceed because he was spawn camping me, and I'd already used up all of my lives. I doubt I would have beaten the game anyway, since I was only halfway to escaping, but I would have liked the chance.
Dad getting glitched in the hallway and ruining my furthest attempt was the final straw for me. So I'll go down in history as someone who has not beaten SchoolBoy Runaway. Yeah, I know legions of children all around the world have downloaded the free mobile version and have beaten the game countless times, but they don't have a job or a girlfriend or, well, better things to do.
It's pretty easy for me to understand why this game is starting to make the rounds. Like a Five Nights at Freddy's, a Baldi's, or the Granny series this game shares a gameplay style with, SchoolBoy Runaway exists in the realm of junior horror, which balances just the right amount of jump scares while not straying too far away from being approachable, thus leading to the game appealing to the broadest audience possible.
Kids like the game, adults like the game, and with the mobile version being free to play, there's no wonder the install base is big, getting bigger.
My final thought on SchoolBoy Runaway is that the game isn't for me, but it's cool if it's other people's cup of tea. In all honesty, I don't expect the game to stick around too long in the spotlight, solely because no viral game does, but it's clearly earned its spot if the top streamers on Twitch are playing it and uploading videos documenting their 6.5-hour long struggles. SchoolBoy Runaway does advertise 2 additional chapters on the mobile release, and there's a newly added mirror mode that horizontally mirrors the game's environments to give a fresh challenge to veteran players, so it appears that the devs behind SchoolBoy Runaway are eager to keep the player base entertained. I sincerely hope they find continued success.
That's gonna be all from me though. Like I said, I'm quite a busy guy, so I gotta get back to my lengthy to-do list. Laundry, underwater basket weaving, making a flower bouquet, oh, here's what I can do. Repeat the activities I saw on the silly iPad game. What? I'm impressionable. Sue me.